Oho? Is it Oho?
Mhm.
That will be testifying on the telephone.
I believe so. Miss Oho, if you can hear us, will you unmute yourself? Miss Oho, if you can hear us, press *6 to unmute yourself. There we go.
Hello.
There you go, Ms. Oho. This is Judge Millard. Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Great. If you'll please raise your right hand, and if you'll also please raise your right hand, sir. You swear that the testimony you're about to give in this matter will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
I do, yes.
Yes, I do.
Thank you. You can both put your hands down. Let's go on the record. Let the record reflect that the respondent, Mr. Matthias, was served with citation on August 25th, 2021. He has failed to file an answer or appear, and I am ready to proceed. Ms. Opp, if you'd like to proceed, please.
Thank you, Your Honor. I'd like to begin by calling CSO Barrera.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, Mr. Barrera, will you please state your name for the record?
Arnaldo Barrera.
And Mr. Barrera, who do you work for?
I work for the Office of the Attorney General.
And what do you do there?
I am a child support officer,
And how long have you been in this position?
15 years.
And in this position, have you been trained in accordance with the Texas Family Code on how to calculate child support and medical support?
Yes, I am. Yes, I have.
And are you also trained and experienced in how to conduct investigations regarding income and the existence of medical support and prior orders and that kind of thing?
Yes.
And have you had an opportunity to do an investigation in this case?
Yes, I have.
And can you share with the court what you have learned in that investigation?
Yes. Based on the information that was received from the employer, give me 1 second. The monthly gross income of Mr. Mathis is $2,853. After giving him credit for taxes and healthcare, his net income is $2,228.86. Proposed child support amount should be $557, with a medical support payment of $168.
Thank you. And have you also calculated retroactive child support amounts for this case?
Yes, I have. I
Can you
calculated
explain that?
calculated retroactive child support from date of birth of, there's 2 children, from date of birth for the youngest child, the oldest child, from the date of birth of the oldest child, which was November of 2018, through today, and adding the second child as of July 2021, the amounts came up to $7,520 of back child support, giving them credit for $50 of direct payment, and that would be paid off at $88 a month.
All right. And is it your understanding that for the period of September 2019 to August of 2021, Ms. Oho had the children covered on private insurance?
Yes.
And have you done a calculation regarding retroactive medical support for that time period?
Yes. Retroactive medical support during that time period would be $1,873.40 to be paid off at $50 a month to begin May 1st of 2022.
All right. And is it your understanding that Ms. Oho provided private dental coverage for the children for the period of September 2020 to August of 2021?
That is correct. And the amounts came up to the judgment on dental support of $228.20 to be paid off at $25 a month to begin May 1st.
Okay, thank you. I have no further questions and pass this witness, Your Honor.
Yes, ma'am. And Mr. Guerrero, I am not sure I heard your request of what you were asking the child support retroactive rate should be paid back at.
The retroactive child support to be paid off at $88 a month.
88?
$88, yes.
Okay, thank you. I just want to be sure that I heard you correctly.
Oh.
Thank you, sir. And ma'am, did you have any questions for this witness?
No,
Ms.
I did
Oho?
not. No, I did not.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. And you may call your next witness.
All right, Your Honor, I'd like to
Mr.
call.
Barrera.
Thank you, Mr. Barrera.
Thank you. May
I'd
I
like to
be-
call. Yes. All right. I'd like to call Bridget Oho, please.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, Miss Oho, will you please state your name for the record?
Yes, it is Bridget Ojo.
Ojo. And will you please the names and ages of your.
Yes, Amelia Mathis, she is 3 years old. Gabrielle Mathis, she is 10 months old.
All right. And it's true that Mr. Mathis signed an acknowledgement of for both of your children?
Correct, yes, he did.
Thank you. And Ms. Mathis, Ms. Ojo, we're going to talk for a moment about the history of your relationship with Mr. Mathis. I understand that there have been some recent incidents of violence between the two of you. Is that correct?
Yes, that is correct.
Can you explain for the court what has happened between the two of you?
Yes, so in January, earlier this year, he had punched me in the face in front of my 3-year-old. And in October of last year, he had put his hands around my neck and choked me and threatened to snap my neck. And sorry?
And I was going to say, and did he choke you and threaten to snap your neck in front of your children?
Yes, that was in front of Gabrielle. So she was about 4 months at the time.
Mm-hmm. And go ahead. It sounded like you were going to tell us about another violent incident.
Yes, in June, actually, June 16th of last year, we were actually at the hospital, and he had grabbed my purse and he threw it, but he also broke my laptop, and he also threatened that he was going to just hurt me. So that's another incident.
And we're going to talk for a moment about kind of the history of interaction that he's had with the children and kind of how he has behaved as a co-parent. I understand that one of your children was born prematurely. Is that correct?
Yes, Gabrielle, she was born 2.5 months premature.
And did she spend some time in the NICU?
Yes, she spent almost 3 months in the NICU.
And how involved was he during that time period?
He was not even there for the birth, despite that I was in the hospital for about a week or two before I actually gave birth. He probably came to the hospital while I was there maybe once or twice. He didn't even have possession of Amelia. It was my mom and my sister who actually had her while I was in the hospital. And during the time that Gabrielle was in the NICU, he probably went maybe about 4 or 5 times, if that.
Okay. And I understand this past fall, in October of 2021 and December of 2021, you had some issues where the children were sick. And at one point in time, one of the children tested positive for COVID. How did he respond when that happened?
Yes, so in December, myself, Gabrielle, and Amelia, we had all tested positive for COVID. And because Gabrielle was born premature, she has a lot of respiratory issues. And her doctor had prescribed a nebulizer, albuterol, and a couple other things. And I had asked their father if he could stop by the CVS to just pick it up and just drop it off at the front door. He refused. He actually blocked me. He told me to leave him to us alone and for me to figure it out for myself.
Mm-hmm. And was one of your children recently hospitalized?
Yes. So last week, Amelia, she went to see him for about an hour or so. He picked her up from school. And about 20 minutes after I had picked her up from him, she started shaking really badly. So I took her to the emergency room and I informed him. He didn't acknowledge it, didn't ask how she's doing, still hasn't asked how she is doing or anything of that sort.
Yeah. So even now, he hasn't inquired about the state of her health at all. That's correct?
Oh, no, I have not spoken to him since that Thursday of last week.
Mm-hmm. And in the last few years, obviously in the time that the children have been here with us, how much has he visited with the children?
Very rarely. Gabrielle does not really know him at all. Amelia, she definitely knows him. But I mean, he saw her last week for maybe about an hour, 2 tops. And about a month prior to that, he saw her for maybe about an hour and a half. He's just not consistent at all. He won't pick up the kids from daycare. He won't see them on the weekends. I've asked and asked and asked, and yeah, he just refuses.
And what happened the time that you let him keep Amelia overnight?
So it was I wrote it down. It was December 4th and December 5th. He had picked her up from my house and took her. I'm not sure exactly where he took her because he refused for me to have any type of communication with her. But whenever he returned to drop her off, it was close to midnight. And she had on the same exact clothes that she had on when she left my house. They were soiled. She had not brushed her teeth, like nothing at all. Yeah.
So based on the history of violence between the two of you and his lack of involvement as a co-parent and the experiences you've had with him when he has kept the children, do you think it would be in your children's best interest if you were their sole managing conservator and he was simply a possessory conservator?
Yes, absolutely. Since I gave birth, before I even gave birth, I was responsible for these children. So I've made all the decisions. I'm the one who pays for daycare, for everything that they have. It comes out of my pocket. So, yes.
All right. And are you asking the court today to enter an order that would make you their sole managing conservator and make him the possessory conservator?
Yes, I am.
And when it is time for visitation, do you believe that it would be in your children's best interest if there was a phased possession order put in place before he has the opportunity to have a standard possession order?
Yes, I believe so, because he has no relationship or interaction with the children, especially with Gabrielle.
Okay. I'm going to just quickly kind of review the terms of this possession order that we've talked about earlier. So from what I understand, you would like to ask that the court order that he have 14 periods of supervised visitation, 1 p.m. to 5 p.m. on the first, third, and fifth Saturdays of each month to occur at Chuck E. Cheese. And there is an address stated in the order here, the Chuck E. Cheese at 124 FM 1960 in Humble, Texas. And for those 14 periods to be supervised by you or someone that you designate. And then after he completes 14 supervised visits, he'd be allowed to have 14 unsupervised visits from 1 p.m. to 5 p.m. on first, third, and fifth Saturday. Then once those are completed, 14 unsupervised visits that are 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. first, third, and fifth Saturday. And then if he completes those, he'd be allowed to begin some overnights, 6 p.m. on the first, third, and fifth Saturday to 6 p.m. on the following Sunday for 14 periods of possession. And then after he completes those, a standard possession order. Is that what you are asking the court to order today?
Yes, I am.
All right. And do you believe that this sort of possession schedule would be in your children's best interest?
Yes, I believe it will be because it establishes a routine for them and it allows them to become accustomed to him and, hopefully he is able to uphold those visits.
Mhm.
And yeah.
All right. And another thing I want to ask you about, do you believe that if Mr. Mathis has access to your phone number and your home address, that this could subject you to future harassment or potential abuse or violence?
Yes, definitely.
And are you asking the court to order that that information be kept confidential and not disclosed in the court's records?
Yes, I am asking that.
Okay. Did you hear the testimony that Mr. Barrera gave earlier regarding child support and medical support?
Yes, I did.
And is it true that you had some private insurance for the children in the past, but you no longer have access to private insurance? Is that correct?
Yes, I've had private insurance since the day that Amelia was born up until last September.
All right. Are you asking the court to order monthly child support and cash medical support in the amounts that Officer Barrera recommended during his testimony?
Yes, I am.
All right. And did you hear the testimony that Officer Barrera gave about retroactive child support and retroactive medical and dental support?
Yes, I did.
And are you asking the court to order that Mr. Mathis pay retroactive support in the amounts that Officer Barrera testified to earlier?
Yes, I am.
And do you believe that if you have a court order today that contains all of these provisions, it would be in your children's best interest?
To an extent, yes.
Okay. Are you asking the court to approve this order and enter it today?
Yes, I am.
Thank you. I have no further questions, Your Honor, and pass this witness.
Yes, ma'am. And Ms. Ojo, you said that it was in your children's best interest to an extent. What did you mean by that?
Well, Your Honor, I understand that, their dad was incarcerated for a period of time and that doesn't count towards it, but it's just, $500 something a month. Daycare alone is like $2,300, as well as all the other expenses that I have been paying and I still continue to pay by myself for both kids. And currently I don't have a job.
Children are very expensive.
I'm sorry?
I'm sorry, I said children are very expensive. Anything else that you wish to tell me?
No, Your Honor, that's about it.
Okay, and I appreciate your understanding as the court is not allowed to order child support while somebody is incarcerated. Give me one moment, ma'am, so I can finish typing up my order and I will be right with you ladies. One moment.
Thank you. But to be clear, he's not currently incarcerated.
And that's correct, right, ma'am? He's not incarcerated now.
No, he's not.
Okay, thank you. And all the dates that you're asking that he pay retroactive child support, he was not incarcerated, correct?
Correct.
Thank you. All right, give me one moment, ladies. I'm sorry, I can't type as fast as y'all talk.
And I believe that Officer Barrera is still here. And if we want to call him again, I know that he can testify that whenever he calculated retroactive support, he did not include the time period that Mr. Mathis was incarcerated.
All right, and if you would like to do that, you are more than welcome to do that.
All right. Officer Barrera, are you still with us?
I'm still here.
Yes, thank you.
Okay.
Just if I could just get it on the record, Officer, Burke, you let the court know how you handled the time period that Mr. Mathis was incarcerated and how that impacted your calculations?
Yes, I did take into consideration that he was incarcerated during those months, and I did not use those for the child support retro. I did not use those months for the medical support retro or the dental retro. He was incarcerated February 2019 through October of 2020.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. And after hearing on the merits, the court and all testimony being presented, the court hereby orders and finds that there is a history of domestic violence that has occurred and is likely to occur again. Court finds that it would be physically and mentally detrimental to the children to appoint the parties' joint managing conservators, and therefore appoints Mrs. Oja as the sole managing conservator and appoints Mr. Matthias as the possessory conservator. The court orders a modified possession order as requested by the state and the mother. The respondent is ordered to pay child support in the amount of $557 per month, beginning May 1st, 2022, and thereafter on the first of each month until the oldest child reaches 18 years or graduates high school, whichever is later. Then child support shall be reduced by 5% and is ordered to be paid on the first of each month until the youngest child reaches 18 years of age or graduates high school, whichever is later. The court hereby grants a judgment for retroactive child support in the amount of $7,520. Order said judgment to be paid at the rate of $88 per month, beginning May 1st, 2022, and thereafter on the first of each month until it is paid in full. The court grants a retroactive medical support in the amount of, let me see here. I apologize. I'm just going to start where I remember I went off. The court grants a judgment for retroactive child support in the amount of $7,520 and orders said judgment to be paid at the rate of $88 per month, beginning May 1st, 2022, and thereafter on the first of each month until paid in full. Court grants retroactive medical support judgment in the amount of $1,873.40 and orders that judgment to be paid at the rate of $50 per month beginning May 1st, 2022, and thereafter on the first of each month until it is paid in full. The court grants a retroactive dental support judgment in the amount of $228.20 and orders said judgment to be paid at the rate of $25 per month beginning May 1st, 2022, and thereafter on the first of each month until paid in full. The court grants the request for confidential phone number and address. All child support, medical support, and retroactive judgments are ordered to be paid through the Texas Child Support Disbursement Unit. All other relief requested is hereby granted per your proposed order and found to be in the children's best interest. Is there anything else I can do to assist you?
No, Your Honor. Thank you very much.
All right, ma'am, good luck to you. Thank you all for working so hard today. I greatly appreciate it, and you're welcome to sign off.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. Y'all take care.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And so, Bridget, so Arnold will need to put that finding of family violence in the order.
Okay.
So thank you. Well, we can go back to the other Zoom. Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay.
Unless Maria would prefer that we stay here. But
You can stay here if you'd like.
okay, we're still live, so I